In our last video, you saw part 1 of our baby journey. Got blood works done, I got my cyst removed, such fun things. And we had the first consultation with our fertility clinic. And today, we are going to talk about donors. Sperm donors. We now know that we can do the procedure that we want to do, reciprocal IVF. We know we're gonna do it at the clinic in Vienna. And now we are just missing that special ingredient to make a child that we unfortunately don't have. We are in our new apartment, everything is a mess. Miso even seems quite overwhelmed. Just look at her, not understanding what is what.
So in this video, we are going to be selecting our donor and just kind of walking through what that's like. And we figured, why not bring you along with us?
EDM and German rap, this one's out. How do we feel about freckles? Yeah, freckles are cute. But we don't have freckles. So we welcome freckles into the DNA.
So if you didn't see our previous video, the method that we want to do is called reciprocal IVF, or also known as the ROPA method. In short form, you pretty much take the egg of the one mama and put it into the other mama, and that's what it is in a nutshell.
And fertilize it in between.
So currently we live in Germany. Unfortunately, the method that we want to do is not legal here. Yeah, we feel all sorts of ways about that. But that is why we'll be doing this whole thing in Austria, where it is legal. Yay, Austria!
Unfortunately, we can't make a baby just with our 2 eggs. I was hoping science would have a solution by now, but the clock is ticking and the solution isn't here yet, so we do need that sperm. So let's talk about what are even our options when it comes to selecting a donor. We have 3 options. These options will depend on what kind of procedure you do and what kind of clinic you go to, but most of the times they're going to look very similar to this. So option number 1 is that you go with something referred to as a known donor, which is basically, as the name implies, someone you know. We actually had to think about this. What great men do we have in our lives who have great genes that we would like to, you know, use for our child? And I actually think this is a quite nice method to do it. You actually have the option of your child potentially having a relationship to the donor if that is what you wish. You can also have obviously an agreement where it's like, nope, we'll just take your sperm and there's no relationship sort of thing. The legal grounds of that type of donation are a little bit in the gray area. There are a lot of things that you have to think about. Why we're not doing this option?
We just don't know anyone that we would be wanting to do this with.
Our male friends right now are like, thank you. So you were considering me, but...
So then there is the second option, which is using a donor from the clinic in Vienna. What they do is they ask you for some, you know, kind of key things that you're looking for, like eye color, ethnicity, things like this, and then they give you an option. Yeah, it's not like a catalog style.
Yeah, we actually did try this option. We came up with some criteria, which was interesting to think about, like what do we want? Okay, so let's see what we have in our great characteristics. Number 1, healthy. Brown eyes, brown hair, white, not overweight, straight teeth, intelligent, kind, good reasons for donating, queer awareness, creative and artistic.
Sounds pretty good. How about nose?
Oh yeah, like small nose.
They're gonna be like ladies.
Look, we're very flexible on the height, we're very flexible on the job.
Doesn't have to be IT guy.
Anyway, so we sent it off and then we got a response bright and early the next morning. We didn't find someone who matches all of your criteria, but we can offer you this option. Middle European, brown hair, brown eyes, blood type A positive. And we're like, oh yeah, let's go with this one.
The thing is, we personally just wanted a lot more information.
So we moved on to option number 3. So option number 3 is going through an international sperm bank. Our clinic has a partnership with the European Sperm Bank. Through the European Sperm Bank, what you actually get is you have a website. You can go through all the donor profiles. Some of them have pictures of them as a child. Some even have sketches of what they look like as an adult.
Of course, you see their medical history. That's like a huge one. But it's nice because you get to see also their handwriting. You hear like an interview. The person interviewing the sperm donor is like asking all these personal questions. You get to hear how they speak and how they articulate themselves. You also get hobbies and interesting facts about them. Like really get to see like more of an actual image of this person. And think like, okay, like if I were to just meet this person on the street, like would we get along? Like would this person be the kind of person I would want my child to have their genes?
And I particularly liked that audio interview. We were doing like an exercise where I was playing some of them for Alexis just to hear like, you know, which ones are we getting a good vibe from. And of course, all the donors are thoroughly screened, and I found out that actually only about like 7% of the donor applicants are admitted into the donation program. It's not that easy and it takes several months. When you're going for a sperm bank donor, you have the option sometimes of going with no ID release and ID release. Some people use the word anonymous donor for this, which isn't exactly accurate because the clinic of course knows a lot about who they are. But what the difference essentially is that with an ID release donor, your child has the option after a certain age. They can contact the European Sperm Bank and they can request information about the donor. So they can find out who they are, and they can also request to make contact with the donor. The donor then has the option of accepting or not. They are not obligated in any way to, you know, actually meet up or even respond, but the child has the option of finding out at least who they are. Whereas with a no ID release donor, that option doesn't exist. So basically the child has no way of finding out who the donor actually is, and also no way of getting in touch with them.
Once upon a time when we were just theoretically talking about having a baby one day, we just didn't think that it was necessary at the time for the child to know who the donor is, because
Sure, the transaction.
yeah, the transaction, and they had no part in the upbringing and being there. So it's just like, why would we want that? Once we really started this whole procedure and this process and really looked into it, we knew right away that we would want to have that option for our child. If they want to reach out to the sperm donor, that's only fair to them. And of course, we want everything and the best for our child, mentally, physically, all of that. It's a no-brainer after we looked more into this.
There is a lot of feedback from the donor conceived community, so from people who have been received through using a sperm donor, and they are very vocal about the fact that it can be very psychologically distressing not to be able to ever know where that part of your genetics comes from. You're never going to know who that sperm donor was. And I think it takes a little bit of pushing aside, you know, your personal feelings and emotions. We don't know what it's like to be donor conceived, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of research that you have to do to understand how it's going to affect your child and your family going forward. And telling your child from early on is very important, and something we'll try our best to do everything to inform ourselves about. So if anyone's watching from the donor conceived community and you want to have a conversation with us, please do reach out, because we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, and things that maybe like you wish that your parents did. Now comes the fun part.
We have actually by now, just a few days ago, selected our donor.
Morning, my little angel. Alexis and I were just talking about that there's only 5 vials of our preferred donor in stock. He's popular, I knew it. Yeah. Gotta get on that. Maybe we should just go ahead and order and store them. So that means that today might be the day that we might purchase our donor sperm.
This might be the day where we might purchase.
I don't know if that's a romantic milestone, but it seems like an important one.
Oh,
right?
It's very important.
Gotta start our day. I ordered 3 straws.
Oh my god!
Pour. I'm happy that we locked him down, but only 3 straws, which should be enough for the first treatment. But what about the little siblings?
We purchased some straws. So let's talk about how we ended up selecting our donor. What was important for us? Obviously, we wanted someone who looks cute, let's just say it. We did look at the baby photos and we were very drawn to the cuter babies, as I guess is only natural. But we did also think about like, oh, Alexis, this kind of looks like you as a baby, etc. But apart from the aesthetics, what was important for us?
Of course, all the babies were extremely freaking cute. Like, let's be real.
It's babies.
It's babies.
We want someone who is intelligent. We want someone who is empathetic, who's just like a nice, friendly person. Some people are really looking for people who are, you know, oh, I want someone who has a good job and is really ambitious and successful. I think for us, what was more important was someone who also has a creative side and affinity for the arts, because I feel like that is something that we have as well. It's also nice to look kind of for things that can complement you in a way. So I'm not the best at math and sports, and the donor that we ended up choosing said he's good at all those things. So I'm like, together it will be the perfect match. He's also very outgoing. So together with me, that's going to be a nice balance. But together with your egg, that is going to be the most outgoing little child ever.
Aw, but you don't know that.
When I read through the profile of our donor, I was like, I think that's the one. I had a really good feeling and I just like called up Alexis and I was really excited. How do you choose a donor? What do you look for? Is there any sort of advice? Because no one gives us advice on how to do it, you know? Babe, shut up.
Aw, why?
Babe, I just easily get emotional when I think about emotional things. I don't know, I forget. Sperm is freaking expensive.
Yeah.
So of course the procedure is one thing. That's already going to be a considerable cost. The other thing is the actual sperm, because as you're going through the site, you see how much the sperm costs. There's different types of concentration of sperm made for different treatments. And of course you tend to need more than just 1 straw. Our clinic recommended getting 2 to 3. But we do also want more because we also want to use the same donor for future siblings.
Yeah. So at least they can feel like even more connected.
Then you also need to order shipping to the clinic or storage. You can store the sperm there, and any unused sperm you get up to 75% of the money back in the end. So
yeah,
that's a nice option to have.
Yeah. So what is next? On the 13th, we have a chat with our clinic just to figure out all the little details, all the things that come with having a baby as 2 women. We're very excited. We think that we're going to start sometime in like April.
It's not that much longer now, so exciting times.
Just keeping all of our fingers and toes crossed that everything will go smoothly and that it will work.
For you, we will make another video talking about the procedure that we're doing, talking about sort of our thoughts and feelings around becoming same-sex parents. Yeah. That is it for now.
Yes, we're excited to have you along this crazy journey. Make sure you give this little video a like. If you're not subscribed, please do so. And we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one. Cheers!
Cheers!